Constantine, /Knstntin/Constantine, 7 is a 2005 American supernatural superhero film directed by Francis Lawrence, and written by Kevin Broadbent and Frank Capello. It is loosely based on the Hellblazer comic book series. The film stars Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, a cynical exorcist with the ability to perceive and communicate with half-angels and half-demons in their true forms and to travel between Earth and Hell. The cast also features Rachel Weisz, Shia LaBeouf, Tilda Swinton, Pruitt Taylor Vince, Jimin Hoon-soo, Gavin Rossdale, and Peter Stormare. Constantine was released theatrically in the United States on February 18, 2005, to mixed reviews, and grossed $231 million on a production budget between $70 to $100 million. Since its release, it has garnered a cult following. 8. A sequel is in development. 9. Plot. In Mexico, a scavenger discovers the tip of the spear that pierced Jesus Christ and, after becoming possessed, takes it to Los Angeles. There, cynical occult expert John Constantine exorcises a demon from a young girl after witnessing its attempt to reach Earth through her, something that should be impossible because of the treaty between heaven and hell. Suffering from terminal lung cancer, Constantine meets with the half-breed angel Gabriel to request an extension to his life in exchange for his work deporting hell's forces. Gabriel responds that performing good deeds for selfish reasons will not secure his way into heaven. Meanwhile, Detective Angela Dodson investigates the death of her twin sister Isabel, who leaped from a psychiatric hospital roof. Angela refuses to believe her sister, a devout Catholic, would commit suicide and condemn herself to hell. Watching security footage, Angela hears Isabel say Constantine, and seeks out his assistance. He refuses to help until he witnesses demons pursuing Angela and fends them off. Constantine then performs a ritual to see Isabel in hell, confirming she killed herself. He reveals to Angela that he committed suicide as a teenager because of the trauma of seeing supernatural creatures. Although he was revived, his attempt has condemned him to hell when he eventually dies. At the morgue, Constantine's friend Father Hennessy discovers a mysterious symbol on Isabel's wrist but is killed by the half-breed demon Balthazar. Constantine and Angela later uncover that Hennessy carved the symbol into his own hand for them to find. Angela also discovers a hidden message from Isabel referencing a chapter from Hell's Bible. Before being killed by Balthazar, Constantine's ally Beeman reveals that the symbol represents the Antichrist Mammon, Lucifer's son. The chapter foretells Mammon usurping his father and conquering Earth using a powerful psychic and divine assistance. Isabel, a powerful psychic, sacrificed herself to thwart Mammon's plan. Angela confesses that she possessed similar psychic abilities but repressed them to avoid being labeled insane like her sister. To help Angela rediscover her powers, Constantine induces a near-death experience. With her reawakened abilities, Angela locates Balthazar. Constantine interrogates Balthazar, who reveals that the blood of Christ on the spear tip is Mammon's divine assistance, and Angela will be his host. An unseen entity destroys Balthazar and abducts Angela, who becomes possessed by Mammon. With the help of witch Dr. Papa Midnight, Constantine induces visions to locate Angela at the psychiatric hospital. Alongside his apprentice, Chaz Kramer, Constantine arms himself and assaults the building, battling through hordes of demons to Angela. Constantine and Chaz seemingly exorcise Mammon from her, but Chaz is killed by the unseen force, revealed to be Gabriel. Resentful at God's favoritism for humanity and forgiveness for even the most wicked, Gabriel intends to unleash hell on earth so that those who survive will become truly worthy of his love. Gabriel tosses Constantine away and prepares to stab Angela with the spear tip to unleash Mammon. Desperate, Constantine commits suicide by slitting his wrists, knowing that Lucifer will personally come to collect him. Time pauses and Constantine convinces Lucifer to intervene and stop Mammon. Gabriel attempts to smite Lucifer, but is unable to, as Gabriel no longer has God's favor. Lucifer burns Gabriel's wings away while also banishing Mammon back to hell. He then reluctantly offers to restore Constantine to life for his assistance. Constantine instead asks that Isabel be sent to heaven. Lucifer releases Isabel and starts dragging Constantine to hell, but Constantine begins ascending to heaven for his selfless sacrifice. Infuriated, Lucifer restores Constantine to life and removes his cancer, believing that, in time, Constantine will prove he belongs in hell. Constantine punches the now mortal Gabriel before leaving and entrusts Angela with securing the spear tip. In a post-credits scene, Constantine visits Chaz's grave and witnesses him in an angelic form. Cast: Keanu Reeves as John Constantine, a chain-smoking cynical exorcist with the ability to perceive the true visage of half-angels and half-demons on the human plane. John is damned to hell for attempting suicide, a mortal sin, and has terminal lung cancer. Connor Dillon wryn as young John. Quinn Bunnell as child John. Rachel Weisz as Angela Dodson, a troubled LAPD detective investigating the suicide of her twin sister Isabel, also portrayed by Weisz. Weisz also portrays Mammon, the son of Lucifer who has no patience for his father's rule of hell and uses Angela's body as a means of escaping to rule over Earth. Shia LaBeouf as Chaz Kramer, Constantine's driver and apprentice. Chaz has a strong interest in the occult and helps Constantine whenever possible in order to gain knowledge and experience from him. Tilda Swinton as Gabriel, a half-breed archangel with a disdain for humanity who plots to free Mammon as a means to unleash hell on the earth. Pruitt Taylor Vince as Father Hennessy, an insomniac, alcoholic priest with the ability to communicate with the dead. He wears a protective charm in order to keep the voices out. Jimin Hoon-soo as Papa Midnight, a former witch doctor who once fought against hell. After swearing an oath of neutrality unless one side should tip the balance of power, he opened a nightclub to serve as neutral meeting ground for both sides of the war between heaven and hell. Gavin Rossdale as Balthazar, a half-breed demon, and son of Lucifer. He has a special interest in, and personal history with, Constantine. Peter Stormare as Lucifer, a fallen archangel who is in a proxy war with God for the souls of all mankind, and ruler of hell. He is feared on earth as Satan or the devil. Lucifer loathes Constantine with such vigor that Constantine's soul is the only one he would ever come to personally collect, due to Constantine's many fights against demons. Max Baker as Beeman, a friend of Constantine's with extensive knowledge of exotic occult materials and insects. He supplies Constantine with both holy objects and information. Francis Kinnan as Father Garrett, a priest Angela talks to about getting Isabel a Catholic burial. Jose Zuniga as Dead. Weisz, Angela's partner. Jesse Ramirez as Manuel, a scavenger and treasure hunter who finds the spear of destiny that grants various powers and places him in a trance-like state. April Grace as Dr. Archer, Constantine's doctor. Additionally, Michelle Monaghan filmed several scenes as Ellie, a half-breed demon Constantine sleeps with and asks for information, who is based on a succubus of the same name in the Hellblazer comics. In the finished film, however, the role consists of 2 brief shots and 1 line of dialogue, holy water. During Constantine's climactic confrontation with the group of half-breeds in the hospital. Director Francis Lawrence said Ellie's relationship with Constantine was cut to make him more of a lonely character. 10/11. Production. The character of John Constantine was introduced by comic book writer/creator Alan Moore in the saga of Swamp Thing number 37, released in June 1985. 12 in 1988, the character was given his own comic book title, Hellblazer, published by DC Comics. Producer Lauren Schuler Donner began developing the film in 1997. 13 Paul Hunter was attached to direct in 1999-14, and he was replaced by Tarsum Singh in 2001. 15 Warner Brothers hoped to begin filming in 2002 with Nicolas Cage in the lead role. 16 but Singh dropped out, resulting in opposing lawsuits filed by himself and Warner Brothers. He was replaced by first-time director Francis Lawrence, previously known for his commercials and music videos. Keanu Reeves became attached to the film in 2002. 17. Constantine incorporated some elements of Garth Ennis's Dangerous Habits story arc from the comic, issues #41, 46, #18 and others, such as the inclusion of Papa Midnight, from the original Sins trade paperback. 19. The film's title was changed from Hellblazer to Constantine to avoid confusion with Clive Barker's Hellraiser films. 20. In fact, the comic series was originally going to be titled Hellraiser, but was also retitled to avoid confusion with the first Hellraiser film, which was released a year before the debut of Hellblazer. 21. Alan Moore, the original creator of John Constantine, was disappointed by the previous adaptations of his comics from Hell and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and refused to be credited or associated with this film, asking that his royalties be distributed among the other creators of the character. The film changed several aspects of the source material. For one, it was set in Los Angeles, rather than England, which director Francis Lawrence justified by claiming that the comic book was not exclusively set in London. 20. Reeves played the role of John Constantine with his real-life Canadian accent and black hair. 20. While the character in the comics was drawn to resemble the blonde musician Sting and came from Liverpool. 21. For the film, Constantine was also given the psychic ability to see half-breeds as they truly are, and this led him to attempt suicide, causing his damnation. 22. Which, in the comics, was punishment for summoning a demon that killed a young girl. 23. Additionally, the resolution of the lung cancer plotline in the film was amended so that Lucifer willingly saves the redeemed Constantine to give him a second chance at falling, rather than being tricked into doing so. 22. Hell as it is depicted in the film. Director Lawrence decided to base the film's conception of hell on the geography of what's around us now. 24. He further explained, "That was actually a combination of me and the visual effects supervisor and the production designer sitting down and sort of coming up with the biological growth that's growing all over the cars and what that looks like and the color palette. And we started to look at the nuclear test films from the 1940s of the nuclear blasts and just decided that it would be great if the landscape was not only violent with these creatures, but also the atmosphere. So we decided that it was kind of an eternal nuclear blast, except nothing ever really gets obliterated because it's eternal and it's constantly going." The special makeup effects were created by Stan Winston. 25. Music. Main article, Constantine, soundtrack. Constantine, original motion picture soundtrack was released on February 15, 2005. It is an orchestral compilation of songs from the film, performed by the Hollywood Studio Symphony and the Hollywood Film Chorale and composed by Brian Tyler, the composer for films such as Eagle Eye and Fast and Furious, and Klaus Badelt. 2 songs heard in the film, Passive by a Perfect Circle, heard as Constantine walks through Midnight's Bar, and Take 5 by the Dave Brubeck Quartet, heard on a record played by Constantine, were not included on the soundtrack. The album was panned by AllMusic, who referred to it as cliched and religiously formulaic. 26. Release. Theatrical. The original release date for the film was September 17, 2004 27, but was subsequently pushed back to February 2005. Although the film was intended to be rated PG-13, it received an R rating from the MPAA, which Lawrence attributed to its religious overtones. 28. Home media. The film was released on VHS and DVD in 2005. Warner Home Video intended to release the film on HD DVD on March 28, 2006, 29, making it one of the earliest titles released on that media format, but, following delays to the launch of HD DVD, it actually debuted on June 6 the same year. It was released on Blu-ray disc by Warner Home Video on October 14, 2008. 30. For its 20th anniversary, the film was released on 4K Blu-ray on February 18, 2025. 31. Reception. Box office. Constantine opened in 3,006 theaters in the United States on February 18, 2005, earning $29.8 million in its opening weekend and ranking second behind Hitch's second weekend. 32. It ended its run on June 16, having grossed $76 million in the United States and Canada, and $154.9 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $230.9 million, against a production budget of $70 to $100 million. 456. Critical response. On review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 46% of 227 critics gave the film a positive review and an average rating of 5.5/10. The site's consensus states, despite solid production values and an intriguing premise, Constantine lacks the focus of another spiritual shoot-'em-up, The Matrix. 33. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 50 out of 100 based on the reviews of 41 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. 34. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of B on an A+ to F scale. 35. Better source needed. Richard Corliss of Time magazine called the film a one-of-a-kind hybrid, a theological noir action film. 36. He cited Keanu Reeves' ability to retain his charisma in a weird silly moment as proof that he is a movie star, and referred to Tilda Swinton as immaculately decadent. Corliss also praised the variety of camera placements employed by Francis Lawrence. He was, however, critical of the climax of the film, referring to it as irrevocably goofy. Ella Taylor of LA Weekly wrote, "Constantine, which opts in the end for what I can only describe as a kind of supernatural humanism, is not without its spiritual satisfactions." 37. Karina Chicano of the Los Angeles Times said that Keanu Reeves has no peer when it comes to playing these sort of messianic roles. He infuses them with a zen blankness and serenity that somehow gets him through even the unlikeliest scenes with a quiet, unassuming dignity. 38. Pete Vonderhaar of Film Threat gave the film 3 stars out of 5, writing that the film, barely, succeeds, thanks to impressive visuals, the idea of an uncaring God wagering with Satan for souls, and 2 immensely enjoyable scenes, one with Weisz, one with Stormare, in which Reeves actually plays his character as the cynical asshole he really is. 39. Jack Matthews of the New York Daily News gave the film 2 out of 4 stars, for all its spiritual angst, Constantine is about as silly as fantasies get. 40. Michael Sragow of the Baltimore Sun also gave the film 2 stars out of 4, it all comes off as a case of filmmakers wanting to have their communion wafer and eat it, too. 41. Desson Thompson, a writer for The Washington Post, had similar sentiments of the film. 42. Specifically criticizing its differences from the comic book. If you are a fan of the Hellblazer comic book series, on which this movie is based, you'll definitely need a distraction. The relation between Constantine and its source material is, at best, superfluous. The disparity starts with the original John Constantine, Reeves's character, being from Liverpool, England. Reeves from the city of John and Paul. As if Leonard Maltin's annual publication Movie Guide gave the film a bomb rating, describing it as dreary, to put it mildly. 43. Film critic Roger Ebert gave it 1.5 out of 4 stars. 44. Panning the depiction of hell, a post-nuclear Los Angeles created by animators with a hangover. The premise of the film itself, you would think that God would be the New England Patriots of this contest, but apparently there is a chance that Satan could win. Plot holes, inconsistencies, and general actions depicted throughout the film. He was not particularly critical of the acting, only mentioning it by stating, Reeves has a deliberately morose energy level in the movie, as befits one who has seen hell, walks among half-demons, and is dying. He keeps on smoking. Ebert added the film to his list of most hated films. 45. Retrospective reviews. In later years, the film has received critical praise and has been deemed a cult classic by some critics and journalists. 8. In a 20th anniversary retrospective for Fangoria, Ryan Scott noted that the film received mixed reviews at the time of its release, with their original review criticizing the story, but has since developed a pretty passionate cult following. 46. Writing for Rotten Tomatoes, Rafael Mota Mayer stated that the film is owed an apology, and praised the film's noir thriller elements, the supporting cast, and Reeves' performance. Mota Mayer compared the film against contemporary comic book films, especially ones that follow a standard formula, and found Constantine to be a more intriguing take. 47. Novelization and video game. To tie into the film's release, a novelization by John Shirley and a video game adaptation were produced. The novelization states that the buildings in hell are built with the souls of the damned, rather than brick, and lined with blood, rather than mortar. 48. Sequel. In 2011, director Francis Lawrence stated, regarding a sequel, "It's interesting that over the years, Constantine seems like it's become, like it has this sort of cult following, which has been great. It's been embraced. It would be great to figure out a sequel, and if we did, and we've been trying to figure one out, it would be great to do the really dark, scary version. We got caught in that weird PG-13, our no man's land, and we should do the hard R scary version, which I would love to do." 49. In November 2012, Guillermo del Toro signed a deal to write and direct a Justice League dark film centered around DC Comics' supernatural characters, John Constantine among them. 50. Better source needed. Reeves said in 2019 and 2021 that he was open to reprise the role in the future. 51-52. In November 2020, Stormare announced in a post on Instagram that a sequel was in the works, though neither representatives for Warner Bros. Nor Reeves immediately responded to requests for comment. 53. In September 2022, Deadline Hollywood reported that Warner Bros. Would develop a Constantine sequel, with Keanu Reeves set to return in the lead role. Francis Lawrence was set to return as the film's director, with Akiva Goldsman writing the screenplay. Goldsman would also produce, alongside J.J. Abrams and Hannah Minghella. 54. Reeves stated that he had spoken to DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn and was told that the sequel would still be made, being part of DC Elseworlds, a film series intended to distinguish itself from the then upcoming DC Universe, DCU. 55. Lawrence gave an update on the project in October 2023, indicating that work had proceeded following the conclusion of the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike. He, Reeves and Goldsman have been meeting and discussing the story. 56. Producer Lorenzo de Bonaventura revealed that the film's script was complete in September 2024. 57-58. In February 2025, Reeves revealed in an interview that he and Lawrence recently developed a story and presented it to DC Studios, receiving approval to proceed with writing a script, after having attempted to create a follow-up for over a decade. Reeves also confirmed that the sequel would be set in the same world as the 2005 film, with John Constantine facing increased challenges. Lawrence indicated that they are closer than ever to realizing the sequel, having spent years considering ideas from the comics and nurturing the concept. Keanu Charles Reeves, Keanu 07 born September 2, 1964, is a Canadian actor and musician. The recipient of numerous accolades in a career on screen spanning 4 decades, he is known for his leading roles in action films, his amiable public image, and his philanthropic efforts. In 2020, the New York Times ranked him as the 4th greatest actor of the 21st century, and in 2022 Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. Born in Beirut and raised in Toronto, Reeves made his acting debut in the Canadian television series Hanjin in 1984, before making his feature film debut in Youngblood, 1986. He had his breakthrough role in the science fiction comedies Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, 1991. He gained praise for playing a hustler in the independent drama My Own Private Idaho, 1991, and established himself as an action hero with leading roles in Point Break, 1991, and Speed, 1994. Following several box office disappointments, Reeves's performance in the horror film The Devil's Advocate, 1997, was well received. Greater stardom came with his role as Neo in The Matrix, 1999. Reeves became the highest-paid actor for a single production for reprising the role in its 2003 sequels Reloaded and Revolutions. He also played John Constantine in Constantine, 2005. Reeves made his film directorial debut with Man of Tai Chi, 2013. Following a period in which he enjoyed limited commercial success, he made a career comeback by playing the titular assassin in the action film series John Wick, 2014, present. Reeves voiced Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4, 2019, and portrayed Johnny Silverhand in the video game Cyberpunk 2077, 2020, as well as its expansion. He has since reprised his roles of Ted in Bill and Ted Face the Music, 2020, and Neo in The Matrix, Resurrections, 2021, and voiced Shadow the Hedgehog in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, 2024. In addition to acting, Reeves is a member of the musical band Dogstar, releasing albums including Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees, 2023. He is the co-writer and creator of the BRZRKR franchise, which started with the original comic book, 2021 to 2023, and since expanded to include numerous spin-offs, including the Book of Elsewhere, 2024. An avid motorcyclist, Reeves is the co-founder of the custom manufacturer Arch Motorcycle. He also co-founded the production company Company Films. Early life. Keanu Charles Reeves was born in Beirut, Lebanon, on September 2, 1964, the son of Patricia, née Taylor, a costume designer and performer, and Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr. His mother is English, originating from Essex. His American father is from Hawaii, and is of native Hawaiian, Chinese, English, and Portuguese descent. 11-5-12 Reeves's paternal grandmother is of Hawaiian and Chinese descent. 13 His mother was working in Beirut when she met his father. 14 Who abandoned his wife and family when Reeves was 3 years old. Reeves last met his father on the Hawaiian island of Kauai when he was 13. 15. After his parents divorced in 1966, his mother moved the family to Sydney, Australia 15-16 and then to New York City, where she married Paul Aaron, a Broadway and Hollywood director, in 1970. 15 The couple moved to Toronto and divorced in 1971. When Reeves was 9, he took part in a theater production of Damn Yankees. 17 Aaron remained close to Reeves, offering him advice and recommending him a job at the Hedgerow Theater in Pennsylvania. 15 Reeves's mother married Robert Miller, a rock music promoter, in 1976, the couple divorced in 1980. Reeves and his sisters grew up primarily in the Yorkville neighborhood of Toronto, with a nanny frequently caring for them. 15-18 Reeves watched British comedy shows such as The Two Ronnies, and his mother imparted English manners that he has maintained into adulthood. 19 Because of his grandmother's Chinese ethnicity, Reeves grew up with Chinese art, furniture, and cuisine. 20. Describing himself as a private kid, 21 Reeves attended 4 different high schools, including the Etobicoke School of the Arts, from which he was expelled. Reeves said he was expelled because he was just a little too rambunctious and shot my mouth off once too often. I was not generally the most well-oiled machine in the school. 22 Reeves has dyslexia and has said, because I had trouble reading, I wasn't a good student. 23 At De La Salle College, he was a successful ice hockey goalkeeper. Reeves had aspirations to play for the Canadian Olympic team and was once considered an old prospect, but his hockey career ended due to injury. 24 At the age of 15, he decided he wanted to become an actor. 25 After leaving De La Salle College, he attended Avondale Secondary Alternative School, which allowed him to get an education while working as an actor. Reeves dropped out of high school when he was 17. 26 He obtained a green card through his American stepfather and moved to Los Angeles 3 years later. 15 Reeves holds only Canadian citizenship. 8-9. Career. Main article, Keanu Reeves filmography. 1984 to 1990, early work. Reeves in 1986. In 1984, Reeves was a correspondent for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC, youth television program Going Great. 27 that same year, he made his acting debut in an episode of the television series, called Hanjin In. 28 in 1985, he played Mercutio in a stage production of Romeo and Juliet at the Leopoldslunds Theatre in North York, Ontario. 29-30 he made further appearances on stage, including Brad Fraser's cult hit Wolfboy in Toronto. He also appeared in a Coca-Cola commercial in 1983-31 and in the National Film Board of Canada, NFB, Coming of Age, short film One Step Away. 32 Reeves later said that, when he was looking for work in the mid-1980s, his agents advised him to go by a different name because his first name was too ethnic. He briefly initialized his first and middle name and attended auditions as Casey or Casey Reeves before reverting to Keanu. 33. In 1986, Reeves made a foray into television films, including NBC's Babes in Toyland, Act of Vengeance and Brotherhood of Justice. He made his first motion picture appearances in Peter Markle's Young Blood, in which he played a goalkeeper, and in the low-budget romantic drama, Flying. He was cast as Matt in River's Edge, a crime drama about a group of high school friends dealing with a murder case, loosely based on the 1981 murder of Marcy Renee Conrad. The film premiered in 1986 at the Toronto International Film Festival to a largely positive response. Janet Maslin of the New York Times describes the performances of the young cast as natural and credible, with Reeves being described as affecting and sympathetic. 34. In 1988, Reeves starred in several dramas aimed at teen audiences, including as the lead in The Night Before, a comedy starring opposite Lori Loughlin, The Prince of Pennsylvania and Permanent Record. Although the latter received mixed reviews, Variety magazine praised Reeves's performance, which opens up nicely as the drama progresses. 35 His other acting efforts included a supporting role in Dangerous Liaisons, which earned 7 nominations at the 61st Academy Awards, winning 3, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Costume Design, and Best Production Design. 36. In 1989, Reeves starred in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, in which he portrays a slacker who travels through time with a friend, portrayed by Alex Winter, to assemble historical figures for a school presentation. The film was generally well received by critics and grossed $40.5 million at the worldwide box office. 37 Film review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave the film a 79% approval rating with the critical consensus, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are just charming, goofy, and silly enough to make this fluffy time travel adventure work. 38 Reeves then starred in the comedy drama Parenthood directed by Ron Howard. Nick Hilditch of the BBC gave the film 3 out of 5 stars, calling it a feel-good movie with an extensive and entertaining ensemble cast. 39 In 1990, Reeves gave 2 acting performances. He portrayed an incompetent hitman in the black comedy I Love You to Death, and played Martin, a radio station employee in the comedy Tune In Tomorrow. He also appeared in Paula Abdul's music video for Rush Rush, which featured a rebel without a cause, 1955, motif, with him in the James Dean role. 40. 1991 to 1994, breakthrough with mature roles. In 1991, Reeves starred in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, a sequel to Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, with his co-star Winter. Michael Wilmington of the Los Angeles Times wrote that the sequel was more imaginative, more opulent, wilder, and freer, more excitingly visualized, praising the actors for their fuller performances. 41 Film critic Roger Ebert thought it was a riot of visual invention and weird humor that works on its chosen submoronic level. It's the kind of movie where you start out snickering in spite of yourself, and end up actually admiring the originality that went into creating this hallucinatory slapstick. 42. The rest of 1991 marked a significant transition for Reeves's career as he undertook adult roles. Co-starring with River Phoenix as a street hustler in the adventure My Own Private Idaho, the characters embark on a journey of personal discovery. The story was written by Gus Van Sant, and is loosely based on William Shakespeare's Henry IV, Part 1, Henry IV, Part 2, and Henry V. The film premiered at the 48th Venice International Film Festival 43, followed by a theatrical release in the United States on September 29, 1991. The film earned $6.4 million at the box office. 44. My Own Private Idaho was positively received, with Owen Gleiberman of Entertainment Weekly describing the film as a postmodern road movie with a mood of free-floating, trance-like despair, a rich, audacious experience. 45. The New York Times complimented Reeves and Phoenix for their insightful performances. 46. Reeves starred alongside Patrick Swayze, Lori Petty, and Gary Busey in the action thriller Point Break, directed by Catherine Bigelow. He plays an undercover FBI agent tasked with investigating the identities of a group of bank robbers. To prepare for the film, Reeves and his co-stars took surfing lessons with professional surfer Dennis Jarvis in Hawaii. Reeves had never surfed before. 47. Upon its release, Point Break was generally well received, and a commercial success, earning $83.5 million at the box office. 48. Reeves's performance was praised by the New York Times for considerable discipline and range, adding, "He moves easily between the buttoned-down demeanor that suits a police procedural story and the loose-jointed manner of his comic roles." 49. Writing for the Washington Post, Hal Hinson called Reeves the perfect choice and praised the surfing scenes, but opined that the filmmakers have their characters make the most ludicrously illogical choices imaginable. 50. At the 1992 MTV Movie Awards, Reeves won the Most Desirable Male Award. 51. In 1991, Reeves developed an interest in a music career. He formed the alternative rock band Dogstar, consisting of members Robert Mailhouse, Greg Miller, and Brett Domrose. Reeves played the bass guitar. A year later, he played Jonathan Harker in Francis Ford Coppola's gothic horror Bram Stoker's Dracula, based on Stoker's 1897 novel Dracula. Starring alongside Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and Anthony Hopkins, the film was critically and commercially successful. It grossed $215.8 million worldwide. 52. For his role, Reeves was required to speak with an English accent, which drew some ridicule. Overly posh and entirely ridiculous, Reeves's performance is as painful as it is hilarious, wrote Limara Salt of Virgin Media. 53. In a retrospective interview in 2015, director Coppola said, "Reeves tried so hard, he wanted to do it perfectly, and in trying to do it perfectly it came off as stilted." 54. Bram Stoker's Dracula was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, winning 3 in Best Costume Design, Best Sound Editing and Best Makeup. 55. The film also received 4 nominations at the British Academy Film Awards. 56. In 1993, he had a role in Much Ado About Nothing, based on Shakespeare's play of the same name. The film received positive reviews. 57. Although Reeves was nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Supporting Actor. 58. The New Republic magazine thought his casting was unfortunate because of his amateur performance. 59. In that same year, he starred in 2 more drama films, Even Cowgirls Get the Blues and Little Buddha, both of which garnered a mixed to negative reception. 60-61. The Independent critic gave Little Buddha a mixed review but opined that Reeves's part as a prince was credible. 62. The film also left an impression on Reeves. He later said, "When I played this innocent prince who starts to suspect something when he has the first revelations about old age, sickness, and death, it hit me. That lesson has never left me." 63. In 1994, he starred in the action thriller Speed alongside Sandra Bullock and Dennis Hopper. He plays police officer Jack Traven, who must prevent a bus from exploding by keeping its speed above 50 miles per hour. Speed was the directorial debut of Dutch director Jan de Bont. Several actors were considered for the lead role, but Reeves was chosen because de Bont was impressed with his point-break performance. 64 To look the part, Reeves shaved all his hair off and spent 2 months in the gym to gain muscle mass. During production, Reeves's friend, and his My Own Private Idaho co-star River Phoenix died, resulting in adjustments to the filming schedule to allow him to mourn. 64 Speed was released on June 10 to a critically acclaimed response. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune lauded Reeves, calling him absolutely charismatic, giving a performance juiced with joy as he jumps through elevator shafts, and atop a subway train. 65 David Anson, writing for Newsweek, summarized Speed as, relentless without being overbearing. This is one likely blockbuster that doesn't feel too big for its britches. It's a friendly juggernaut. 66 The film grossed $350 million from a $30 million budget and won 2 Academy Awards in 1995, Best Sound Editing and Best Sound. 67-68. 1995 to 1998, Career Fluctuations. I do love it, Shakespeare. It's like this kind of code that once you start to inhabit it with breath and sound and feeling and thought, it is the most powerful and consuming and freeing at the same time. Just, literally, elemental in sound, consonants and vowels. What I found out in doing it Hamlet was that it brought up for me all the anger that was inside me for my mother. I mean, it surprised me, just what was there, and I hadn't seen that before. Reeves on his Hamlet performance. 69. Reeves's next leading role came in the 1995 cyberpunk action thriller Johnny Mnemonic, directed by artist Robert Longo and based on the 1981 short story by William Gibson. Set in 2021, it is about a man who has a cybernetic brain implant and must deliver a data package before he dies or is killed by the Yakuza. The film received mainly negative reviews and critics felt Reeves was woefully miscast. 70 Roger Ebert opined that the film is one of the great goofy gestures of recent cinema, a movie that doesn't deserve 1 nanosecond of serious analysis but has a kind of idiotic grandeur that makes you almost forgive it. 71. He next appeared in the romantic drama A Walk in the Clouds, which also garnered mixed to negative reviews. 72 Reeves plays a young soldier returning home from World War II, trying to settle down with a woman he married impulsively just before he enlisted. Film critic Mick LaSalle opined that A Walk in the Clouds is for the most part a beautiful, well-acted, and emotionally rich picture, whereas Hal Hinson from the Washington Post said, the film has the syrupy, Kodak magic moment look of a Bo Derek movie, and pretty much the same level of substance. 73-74. Besides film work, Reeves retreated briefly to the theater playing Prince Hamlet in a 1995 Manitoba Theatre Centre production of Hamlet in Winnipeg, Manitoba. 75 The Sunday Times critic Roger Lewis believed his performance, writing he quite embodied the innocence, the splendid fury, the animal grace of the leaps and bounds, the emotional violence, that form the Prince of Denmark. He is one of the top 3 Hamlets I have seen, for a simple reason, he is Hamlet. 76 In 1996, Reeves was soon drawn to science fiction roles, appearing in Chain Reaction with co-stars Morgan Freeman, Rachel Weisz, Fred Ward, Kevin Dunn, and Brian Cox. He plays a researcher of a green energy project, who has to go on the run when he is framed for murder. The film gained a mostly negative reaction. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gave it a rating of 16% and described it as a men-on-the-run thriller that mostly sticks to generic formula. 77 Reeves's film choices after Chain Reaction were also critical disappointments. He starred in the independent crime comedy Feeling Minnesota, with Vincent D'Onofrio and Cameron Diaz, which was described as shoddily assembled, and fundamentally miscast by Rotten Tomatoes. 78. Reeves turned down an offer to star in the 1997 film Speed 2, Cruise Control, despite being offered a salary of $12 million. 79 According to Reeves, this decision caused 20th Century Fox to sever ties with him for a decade. 80 Instead, Reeves toured with his band Dogstar, and appeared in the drama The Last Time I Committed Suicide, based on a 1950 letter written by Neil Cassidy to Jack Kerouac. Reeves's performance gained mixed reviews. Paul Tatera of CNN called him void of talent. Here he is again, reciting his lines as if they're non-related words strung together as a memory exercise. 81 Whereas Empire magazine thought Reeves gives the nearest thing to a performance in his career as the enthusiastic feckless drunk. 82 He starred in the 1997 supernatural horror The Devil's Advocate alongside Al Pacino and Charlize Theron. Reeves agreed to a pay cut of several $1 million so that the film studio could afford to hire Pacino. 83 Based on Andrew Niederman's novel of the same name, the feature is about a successful young lawyer invited to New York City to work for a major firm, who discovers the owner of the firm is a devil. The Devil's Advocate attracted positive reviews from critics. 84 Film critic James Berardinelli called the film highly enjoyable and wrote, "There are times when Reeves lacks the subtlety that would have made this a more multi-layered portrayal, but it's nevertheless a solid job." 85. 1999 to 2004, resurgence with the Matrix franchise and comedies. Reeves promoting The Day the Earth Stood Still in Mexico, 2008. Reeves promoting The Day the Earth Stood Still in Mexico, 2008. In 1999, Reeves starred in the critically acclaimed science fiction film The Matrix, the first installment in what would become the Matrix franchise. 86 Reeves portrays computer programmer Thomas Anderson, a hacker using the alias Neo, who discovers humanity is trapped inside a simulated reality created by intelligent machines. To prepare for the film, which was written and directed by the Wachowskis, Reeves had read Kevin Kelly's Out of Control, The New Biology of Machines, Social Systems, and the Economic World, and Dylan Evans's Ideas on Evolutionary Psychology. The principal cast underwent months of intense training with martial arts choreographer Yun Wu-ping to prepare for the fight scenes. 87 The Matrix proved to be a box office success. Several critics considered it to be one of the best science fiction films of all time. 88-89 Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times felt it was a wildly cinematic futuristic thriller that is determined to overpower the imagination, despite perceiving weaknesses in the film's dialogue. 90 Janet Maslin of the New York Times credited Reeves for being a strikingly chic Prada model of an action hero, and thought the martial arts stunts were the film's strongest feature. 91 The Matrix received Academy Awards for Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sound. 92 After the success of The Matrix, Reeves avoided another blockbuster in favor of the 2000 sports comedy The Replacements. He agreed to a pay cut to enable Gene Hackman to co-star in the film. 83 Against his wishes, Reeves starred in the thriller The Watcher, playing a serial killer who stalks a retired FBI agent. He said that a friend forged his signature on a contract, which he could not prove. He appeared in the film to avoid legal action. 93 Upon its release, the film was critically panned. 94 That year, he had a supporting role in another thriller, Sam Raimi's The Gift, a story about a woman, played by Cate Blanchett, with extrasensory perception asked to help find a young woman who disappeared. The film grossed $44 million worldwide. 95 Film critic Paul Clinton of CNN thought the film was fairly compelling, saying of Reeves's acting, "Raimi managed to get a performance out of Reeves that only occasionally sounds like he's reading his lines from the back of a cereal box." 96 In 2001, Reeves continued to explore and accept roles in a diverse range of genres. The first was a romantic drama, Sweet November, a remake of the 1968 film. This was his second collaboration with Charlize Theron. The film was met with a generally negative reception. 97 Desson Thompson of the Washington Post criticized it for its syrupy cliches, greeting card wisdom, and over-the-top tragicomedy, but commended Reeves for his likability factor in every performance he gives. 98 Later that year, Hardball marked Reeves's attempt in another sports comedy. Directed by Brian Robbins, it is based on the book Hardball, A Season in the Projects by Daniel Coyle. Reeves plays Connor O'Neill, a troubled young man who agrees to coach a little league team from the Cabrini Green housing project in Chicago as a condition of obtaining a loan. Film critic Roger Ebert noted the film's desire to tackle difficult subjects and baseball coaching, but felt it lacked depth, and Reeves's performance was glum and distant. 99. By 2002, his professional music career had come to an end when Dogstar disbanded. The band had released 2 albums during their decade together, Our Little Visionary in 1996 and Happy Ending in 2000. 100 sometime afterwards, Reeves performed in the band Becky for a year, founded by Dogstar bandmate Male House, but quit in 2005, citing a lack of interest in a serious music career. 101-102 After being absent from the screen in 2002, Reeves returned to the Matrix sequels in 2003 with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, released in May and November, respectively. Principal photography for both films was completed back-to-back, primarily at Fox Studios in Australia. 103 The Matrix Reloaded garnered mostly favorable reviews. John Powers of LA Weekly praised the dazzling pyrotechnics but was critical of certain machine-like action scenes. Of Reeves's acting, Powers thought it was somewhat wooden but felt he has the ability to exude a charmed aura. 104 Andrew Walker, writing for the Evening Standard, praised the cinematography. Visually it gives full value as a virtuoso workout for your senses, but he was less taken by the film's dime store philosophy. 105 The film grossed $739 million worldwide. 106 The Matrix Revolutions, the third installment, was met with mixed reception. According to review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the consensus was that characters and ideas take a backseat to the special effects. 107 Paul Clinton, writing for CNN, praised the special effects but felt Reeves's character was unfocused. 108 In contrast, the San Francisco Chronicle's Carla Meyer was highly critical of the special effects, writing, "The Wachowskis' computer-generated imagery goes from dazzling to deadening in action scenes that favor heavy, clanking weaponry over the martial arts moves that thrilled viewers of The Matrix and The Matrix Reloaded." 109. Nevertheless, the film grossed $427 million worldwide, although less than the 2 previous films. 110 Something's Gotta Give, a romantic comedy, was Reeves's last release of 2003. He co-starred with Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, and played Dr. Julian Mercer in the film. Something's Gotta Give received generally favorable reviews. 111. 2005 to 2013, thrillers, documentaries, and directorial debut. Reeves, dressed in a gray suit, waving to the crowd at the Berlin Film Festival, February 2009. Reeves at the Berlin International Film Festival in 2009. In 2005, Reeves played John Constantine in Constantine, an occult detective film, about a man who has the ability to perceive and communicate with half angels and half demons. The film was a respectable box office hit, grossing $230 million worldwide from a $100 million budget, but attracted mixed to positive reviews. 112 The Sydney Morning Herald's critic wrote that Constantine isn't bad, but it doesn't deserve any imposing adjectives. It's occasionally cheesy, sometimes enjoyable, intermittently scary, and constantly spiked with celestial blatherskite. 113 He next appeared in Thumbsucker, which premiered at the Sundance Film Festival in 2005. 114 A comedy adapted from the 1999 novel by Walter Kern, the story follows a boy with a thumb-sucking problem. Reeves and the cast garnered positive critical reviews, with the Washington Post describing it as a gently stirring symphony about emotional transition filled with lovely musical passages and softly nuanced performances. 115. In 2006, Reeves appeared in the Richard Linklater-directed animated science fiction thriller A Scanner Darkly, which premiered at the 2006 Cannes Film Festival. 116 Reeves played Bob Arctor/Fred, an undercover agent in a futuristic dystopia under high-tech police surveillance. Based on the 1977 novel by Philip K. Dick, the film was a box office failure. 117 However, the film attracted generally favorable reviews. Paul Arendt of the BBC thought the film was beautiful to watch, but that Reeves was outshone by his co-star Robert Downey Jr. 119 His next role was Alex Wyler in The Lake House, a romantic drama adaptation of the 2000 South Korean film I Al Mare, which reunited him with Sandra Bullock. Despite its box office success, 120 Mark Kermode of The Guardian was highly critical, writing this syrup-drenched supernatural whimsy achieves stupidity at a genuinely international level. The last time Bullock and Reeves were together on screen, the result was Speed. This should have been entitled Stop. 121 Towards the end of 2006, he co-narrated The Great Warming with Alanis Morissette, a documentary about climate change mitigation. 122. In 2008, Reeves collaborated with director David Ayer on the crime thriller Street Kings. He played an undercover policeman who must clear his name after the death of another officer. Released on April 11, the film grossed a moderate $66 million worldwide. 123 The film's plot and Reeves' performance, however, were met with mostly unenthusiastic reviews. Paul Burns of the Sydney Morning Herald stated, "It's full of twists and turns, a dead body in every reel, but it's not difficult to work out who's betraying whom, and that's just not good enough." 124 The Guardian opined that Reeves is fundamentally blank and uninteresting. 125 Reeves starred in another science fiction film, The Day the Earth Stood Still, a loose adaptation of the 1951 film. He portrayed Clayton, an alien sent from outer space to try to change human behavior or eradicate humans because of their environmental impact. At the 2009 Razzie Awards, the film was nominated for Worst Prequel, Remake, Rip-Off or Sequel. 126 Many critics were unimpressed with the heavy use of special effects. The Telegraph credited Reeves's ability to engage the audience, but thought the cinematography was abysmal and the sub-Al Gore environment lecture leaves you lightheaded with tedium. 128 Reeves and Tiger Chen, 2013. Tiger Chen and Reeves at the 2013 Fantastic Fest. Rebecca Miller's The Private Lives of Pipoli was Reeves's sole release of 2009, which premiered at the 59th Berlin International Film Festival. 129 The romantic comedy and its ensemble received an amicable review from The Telegraph's David Gridden. Miller's film is a triumph. Uniformly well acted, it boasts a psychologically knowing script, clearly written by a smart, assertive human. 130 In 2010, he starred in another romantic comedy, Henry's Crime, about a man who is released from prison for a crime he did not commit, but then targets the same bank with his former cellmate. The film was not a box office hit. 131 Reeves's only work in 2011 was an adult picture book titled Ode to Happiness, which he wrote, complemented by Alexandra Grant's illustrations. 133 Reeves co-produced and appeared in a 2012 documentary, Side by Side. He interviewed filmmakers including James Cameron, Martin Scorsese, and Christopher Nolan. The feature investigated digital and photochemical film creation. 134 Reeves then starred in Generation an independent drama which was critically panned. 135. In 2013, Reeves starred in his own directorial debut, the martial arts film Man of Tai Chi. The film has multilingual dialogue and follows a young man drawn to an underground fight club, partially inspired by the life of Reeves' friend Tiger Chen. Principal photography took place in China and in Hong Kong. Reeves was also assisted by Yuen Woo-ping, the fight choreographer of the Matrix films. 136 Man of Tai Chi premiered at the Beijing Film Festival and the Cannes Film Festival 137-138 and received praise from director John Woo. 139. A wider, warm response followed suit. Bilge Eberi of Vulture thought the fight sequences were beautifully assembled, and Reeves showed restraint with the film editing to present the fighters' motion sequences. 140. The Los Angeles Times wrote, "The brutally efficient shooting style Reeves employs to film master choreographer Yuen Woo-ping's breathtaking fights, is refreshingly grounded and old-school kinetic." 141. While Dave McGinn of the Globe and Mail called the film ambitious but generic. 142. At the box office, Man of Tai Chi was a commercial disappointment, grossing only $5.5 million worldwide from a budget of $25 million. 143. 144. Also in 2013, Reeves played Kai in the fantasy 47 Ronin, a Japanese fable about a group of rogue samurai. The film premiered in Japan but failed to gain traction with audiences. Reviews were not positive, causing Universal Pictures to reduce advertising for the film elsewhere. 47. Ronin was a box office flop and was mostly poorly received. 145. 2014 to 2022, resurgence with John Wick. After another series of commercial failures, Reeves has made a career comeback in 2014, playing the title role in the action thriller John Wick, directed by Chad Stahelski. In the first installment of the John Wick franchise, Reeves plays a retired hitman seeking vengeance. He worked closely with the screenwriter to develop the story. "We all agreed on the potential of the project. I love the role, but you want the whole story, the whole ensemble to come to life," Reeves said. 146. Filmed on location in the New York City area, the film was eventually released on October 24 in the United States. 147. The Hollywood Reporter was impressed by the director's confident, muscular action debut, and Reeves's effortless performance, which marked his return to the action genre. 148. Jeanette Katsoulis of the New York Times praised Reeves's fight scenes and wrote, "He is always more comfortable in roles that demand cool over hot, attitude over emotion." 149. John Wick proved to be a box office success, grossing $86 million worldwide. 150. In 2015, Reeves starred in a smaller-scale horror feature, Knock Knock, a remake of the 1977 film Death Game. Described as over-the-top destruction by the Toronto Star, Reeves plays a father, home alone, when two young women show up and start a game of cat and mouse. 151. His other releases in 2015 were the documentaries Deep Web, about crime on the dark web, and Mifune, The Last Samurai, about the life of Toshiro Mifune, famous for playing samurai characters. He narrated both films. 152. 153. Reeves appeared in 5 film releases in 2016. The first was Exposed, a crime thriller about a detective who investigates his partner's death and discovers police corruption along the way. The film received negative reviews for its confused plot, and Reeves was criticized for displaying limited facial expressions. 154. 155. His next release, the comedy Keanu, was better received. 156. In it he voiced the eponymous kitten. Reeves then had a minor role in The Neon Demon, a psychological horror directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. He played Hank, a lustful motel owner who appears in Jesse's, played by Elle Fanning, Nightmare. 157. In his fourth release, he played a charismatic leader of a settlement in The Bad Batch. 158. His final release of the year was The Whole Truth, featuring Gabriel Basso, Gugum Bathara, Renee Zellweger, and Jim Belushi. He played Richard, a defense attorney. Noel Murray of the AV Club described it as moderately clever, reasonably entertaining courtroom drama, with a skilled cast but overall a mundane film. 159. Reeves also appeared in Swedish Dicks, a 2-season web television series. 160. In 2017, Reeves agreed to reprise his role for a sequel in the John Wick franchise, John Wick, Chapter 2. The story carries on from the first film and follows John Wick as he goes on the run when a bounty is placed on him. The film was a critical and commercial success, grossing $171.5 million worldwide, more than its predecessor. 161 Chris Hewitt of Empire magazine praised Reeves's performance, which complemented his previous action roles in Point Break and Speed. 162 However, Justin Chang of the Los Angeles Times described the picture as a down and dirty B picture with a lustrous A picture soul. 163 Reeves then starred in a drama, To the Bone, in which he plays a doctor helping a young woman with anorexia. It premiered at the 2017 Sundance Film Festival, followed by distribution on Netflix in July. 165 early reviews were positive, with praise for its non-glamorized portrayal of anorexia, although the New Statesman magazine thought it was irresponsible. 166 That year, Reeves also made cameo appearances in the films A Happening of Monumental Proportions and SPF 18. 167 168 In 2018, Reeves reunited with Winona Ryder in the comedy Destination Wedding, about wedding guests who develop a mutual affection for each other. They had worked together previously in Bram Stoker's Dracula, A Scanner Darkly and The Private Lives of Pippa Lee. Reeves also co-produced and starred in two thrillers. Siberia, in which he plays a diamond trader who travels to Siberia to search for his Russian partner, and Replicas, which tells the story of a neuroscientist who violates laws and bioethics to bring his family back to life after they die in a car crash. Siberia was critically panned. Reviewers thought the plot was nonsensical and Reeves had little chemistry with co-star Anna Olaru. 169 170 Replicas did not fare well with critics either. The AV Club praised Reeves's performance, but gave the film a grade D, adding it is garbage. 171 It was also a box office failure, earning $9.3 million from a budget of $30 million. 171 172 Reeves in 2019. In 2019, Reeves starred in John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, the third film in the series directed by Stahelski. The film takes place immediately after the events of John Wick, Chapter 2 and features new cast members including Halle Berry. The film was another box office hit, grossing $171 million in the United States and more than $155 million internationally. 173 The Globe and Mail's reviewer gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, praising the fight scenes, but felt there was aesthetic overindulgence with the cinematography. 174 The Guardian's Kath Clark questioned Reeves's acting. She wrote that he keeps his face statue still. 3 movies in, franchise bloat is beginning to set in. 175 Reeves was nominated for Favorite Male Movie Star of 2019 in the People's Choice Awards, and the film itself was nominated for Best Contemporary Film in the Art Directors Guild Awards. 176 177 Reeves then voiced Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4, the 4th installment of Pixar's Toy Story franchise. 178 In that same year on April 27 and 28, a film festival was held in his honor, called KeenUCon, hosted in Glasgow, Scotland. 179 Over 2 days, 9 of his films were screened for guests. 180 Also in 2019, Reeves played a supporting role as himself in the Ali Wong-led romantic comedy Always Be My Maybe. 181 In 2019, Reeves traveled to Sao Paulo to produce a Netflix series, Conquest. 182 183 Footage shot for the project would remain in development hell for years due to creator Carl Rinch's erratic behavior and mental health state, which caused him to miss several deadlines and enter litigation with Netflix over the rights to the series. 184 As early as 2008, Reeves and Alex Winter had shown enthusiasm for a third Bill and Ted film, but the project went into development limbo. 185 In 2020, the third film in the franchise Bill and Ted Face the Music was released. 186-187 The critic from Salon magazine was disappointed in Reeves's performance, but praised the film for its message that music has the power to unite the world. 188 Leah Greenblatt of Entertainment Weekly gave the film a grade B, and complimented the on-screen chemistry between Reeves and Winter. 189 He also appeared in the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run as a tumbleweed named Sage. 190 Reeves appears as Johnny Silverhand in the video game Cyberpunk 2077. 191-192 In December 2021, Reeves returned to the screen for the fourth film in the Matrix franchise, The Matrix Resurrections. Carrie-Anne Moss also reprised her role as Trinity. 193-194 The Matrix Resurrections was a box office disappointment. 195 One critic praised Reeves's and Moss's performances, but thought the film was a no game changer. 196. 2023, present, post John Wick. In 2023, Reeves reprised his role as the title character in John Wick, Chapter 4. 197 It received critical acclaim. Several reviewers cited the film among the greatest action films ever made. 198 199 200 He also reprised his role as Johnny Silverhand in the Cyberpunk 2077 expansion, Phantom Liberty. 201 A comic book series, BRZRKR, co-written by Reeves, was published in 3 volumes starting in March 2021 and concluding in October 2023. 202 Issue number 1 sold over 615,000 copies, making it the top-selling single issue since Star Wars number 1 in 2015. 203-204. Reeves performing with Dogstar in 2024. After occasionally meeting up for jam sessions in the years following their dissolution, Dogstar began recording new material during the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, which turned into a finished album, Somewhere Between the Power Lines and Palm Trees, 2023. 205 Following their first performance in 20 years at Bottle Rock Napa Valley Music Festival, 206 Reeves and the band embarked on a 25-day tour in North America and Japan in support of the album, beginning August 10 in Hermosa Beach, California. 207 208 209 In July, Boom Studios published the first issue of BRZRKR, Bloodlines, titled Poetry of Madness. 210 Reeves appeared as the featured guest for the Season 6 premiere episode of Ride with Norman Reedus, titled The Utah Desert with Keanu Reeves. 211 Cinema Blends Nick Venable said, "The installment makes for some truly heartwarming viewing for anyone who needs something to smile about." 212 In November of that year, he appeared as the host for and executive produced the 4-part documentary series Brawn, The Impossible Formula One story for Hulu and Disney+. 213 Jack Seal of The Guardian felt that Reeves was there to humanize the story, and pointed out his numerous adorable habits that most interviewers would deem unprofessional, but which don't offend. He felt that much of the emotion in the series owed to the way he gets his interviewees to open up. He often asks an emotion-based question, how did someone feel about what they did, rather than just what did they do. 214 At the end of that month, Boom Studios published the second comic in the BRZRKR, Bloodline series, entitled Fallen Empire. 215 In May 2024, Netflix won litigation over the rights to the Reeves-produced Conquest series, with the footage reverting to their ownership alongside being reimbursed for $8.78 million worth of creator Carl Eric Rinch's misused production money. 216 That June, Reeves and Dogstar announced their summer vacation tour, with shows scheduled from August to September in the US and Canada. 217 On July 23, 2024, Reeves published a novel, The Book of Elsewhere, co-written with China Mevely, a telling of the story of BRZRKR. 218 219 The first issue of the second volume of the Bloodline series, A Face Full of Bullets, written with Jason Aaron and art by Francesco Manna, was released the following day after a delay from June 221. Another BRZRKR Bloodlines spin-off, titled The Lost Book of B, released on August 21, 2024. 222. He joined Graham Hancock in the second season of the series Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix, where he discussed his insights into storytelling as an act of preserving culture. 223. Reeves starred in the Armored Core episode of the animated anthology series Secret Level. 224. In April, Reeves was cast as the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in the third installment of the Sonic the Hedgehog film series, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which released on December 20, 2024. He also voiced the character in a DLC for the video game Shadow Generations, developed as a tie-in for the film. 225. 226. In January 2025, Reeves had an uncredited role voicing a stop-motion Lumen building in the second season of the television series Severance. 227. In June 2025, Reeves reprised his role as John Wick in the series spin-off film Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas. 228. 229. Reeves then starred alongside Seth Rogen and Aziz Ansari in the latter's directorial debut, Good Fortune. 230. Upcoming projects. Reeves will star in Jonah Hill's upcoming black comedy film Outcome on Apple TV+. 231. 232. Reeves is set to star in Ruben Östlund's satire film The Entertainment System is Down. 233. Reeves will co-produce a documentary film about the life of Benny Urquidez, set for release in 2025. 234. Reeves will make his Broadway debut in the fall of 2025, in a production of Waiting for Godot directed by Jamie Lloyd. 235. A film adaptation of BRZRKR written by Mattson Tomlin and produced by and starring Reeves is being developed for Netflix, with Reeves open to the possibility of directing. 236. 237. After the release of the film, a two-season anime series also planned for release on Netflix and produced by Production I.G is planned to follow. 238. A fifth film in the John Wick series was planned by distributor Lionsgate. 239. 240. But franchise director Chad Stahelski had said he would like to give the franchise a rest for the time being. 241. Besides plans for a fifth film, a sequel television series titled John Wick, Under the High Table is being developed with Reeves attached as an executive producer. 242. Personal life. Alexandra Grant in May 2014. In 1998, Reeves met director David Lynch's assistant Jennifer Syme at a party thrown for his band Dogstar, and they started dating. 243. On December 24, 1999, Syme gave birth 8 months into her pregnancy to the couple's child, who was stillborn. The couple broke up several weeks afterward, but later reconciled. 244. On April 2, 2001, Syme was killed when her vehicle collided with 3 parked cars on Cahuenga Boulevard in Los Angeles. Syme had been under the influence and also not belted in. 245. 246. Reeves told investigators that they were back together 244 and had brunch together in San Francisco the day before the accident. 245. Reeves acted as a pallbearer for Syme 245, who was buried next to their daughter. 247. He was scheduled to film the sequels to The Matrix the following spring, but sought peace and time, according to friend Brett Domrose of Dogstar. 245. Reeves has also been romantically linked to longtime friend and filmmaker Brenda Davis, to whose child he is godfather. 248. 249. 250. And model actress China Chow. 251. 252. Reeves also maintains a close friendship with his Bram Stoker's Dracula co-star Winona Ryder. After taking part in a wedding scene with a Romanian priest for the film, they still call each other husband and wife when speaking personally. 253 in 2009, Reeves met Alexandra Grant at a dinner party. They went on to collaborate on 2 books together. 254-255 They went public with their relationship in November 2019. 256 Reeves is discreet about his spiritual beliefs, saying that it is something personal and private. 257 When asked if he was a spiritual person, he said that he believes in God, faith, inner faith, the self, passion, and things, and that he is very spiritual. 258 Although he does not formally practice Buddhism, the religion has left a strong impression on him, especially after filming Little Buddha. 63 He said, "Most of the things I've come away with from Buddhism have been human understanding feelings, impermanence, and trying to understand other people and where they're coming from." 63 In 2023, the lipopeptide kinemycin, a substance deadly to fungi, was named in honor of Reeves. 259 In 2024, Reeves spoke on his thoughts about mortality, saying, "I'm thinking about death all the time. That's a good thing. Hopefully it's not crippling, but hopefully it sensitizes us to an appreciation of the breath we have, and the relationships that we have the potential to have." 260 On October 5th, Reeves made his motorsport debut in the Toyota GR Cup North America, where he finished in 25th on Race 1 and 24th on Race 2 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 261-262 Business and Philanthropy. Mural of Reeves in Santiago de Chile. Reeves supports several charities and causes. In response to his sister's battle with leukemia, he founded a private cancer foundation, which aids children's hospitals and provides cancer research. 263-264 In June 2020, he volunteered for Camp Rainbow Gold, an Idaho children's cancer charity. 265 Reeves was also recognized as one of the 100 influential celebrities in oncology by OncoDaily. 266 Reeves has said, "Money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries." 267 It was rumored that Reeves gave away a substantial portion, estimated to be $35 to $125 million, of his earnings from The Matrix to the special effects and makeup crews. However, this has been significantly embellished. Reeves negotiated a smaller deal, relinquishing his contractual right to a percentage of the sequel's profits in exchange for a more extensive special effects budget. 268-269 During production on that film, Reeves heard that a crew member was having family trouble, and elected to gift the man $20,000 to help him with his finances. 270 As a wrap gift for the 12-person stunt team of The Matrix Reloaded, 2003, Reeves purchased Harley-Davidson motorcycles for each of the members, saying of the gifts, "I just wanted to give a bigger thank you to all these guys who helped me make this." 271-272 After filming John Wick, Chapter 4, Reeves, Chad Stahelski and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor Dave Camarillo signed an exclusive training uniform that was put up for auction in March 2023 to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. 273 Reeves also presented his personal stunt team for the film with engraved custom Rolex Submariner watches, and bought the larger Chapter 4 stunt crews each personalized t-shirts indicating how many times that the various extras they portrayed died in the film. 271-272 In 2024, Reeves signed a one-day contract with the Windsor Spitfires, and signed items which were auctioned off in benefit of the Canadian Mental Health Association of Windsor, Essex. 274. Reeves co-founded a production company, Company Films, with friend Stephen Hamill. 275 In 2011, Reeves, an avid motorcyclist, co-founded Arch Motorcycle Company, which builds and sells custom motorcycles, with Gard Hollinger. 276-277 In 2017, Reeves, Jessica Fleischman, and Alexandra Grant founded book publisher, X Artists Books, also known as XAB. 278-254 He has written 2 books with Grant, Ode to Happiness and Shadows. He provided the text to her photographs and art. 279. Censorship. In 2022, Reeves's recitation of the beat poem Pull My Daisy for a virtual benefit concert for Tibet House US, a non-profit organization affiliated with the exiled Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama, stirred a negative reaction from jingoistic crowds on Chinese social media. 280, 281, 282 Reeves's films have subsequently been banned from streaming platforms in China such as iQIYI, Tencent Video, and Youku. 283, 284. In the media. Reeves star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Reeves star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In a 2005 article for Time magazine, Lev Grossman called Reeves Hollywood's ultimate introvert. 285 He has been described as a workaholic, charming, and excruciatingly shy. During the production of Constantine, director Francis Lawrence commented on his personality, calling him hardworking and generous. His co-star Shia LaBeouf said, "I've worked with him for a year and a couple of months, but I don't really know him that much." 285 Erwin Stoff of 3 Arts Entertainment has served as Reeves's agent and manager since he was 16, and produced many of his films. Stoff said Reeves is a really private person and keeps his distance from other people. 285 286 In 2023, Reeves's frequent collaborator Lawrence Fishburne remarked on him, "He's kinder, yeah. He's much kinder than people say he is. He's a very gentle, highly intelligent man. Really thoughtful and gifted and incredibly patient. Yeah, he has a lot of grace." Keanu. 287. Aziz Ansari, who directed and starred with Reeves in Good Fortune, joked that he actually is an angel, and that he's been pretending to be human for all these other roles. 288. In a 2024 interview with People magazine, Hiroyuki Sanada said, "He is so humble, very kind to others but very hard on himself. He's always trying to do his best, aim higher, move forward." 289. In 2010, an image of Reeves became an internet meme after photographs of him were published, sitting on a park bench with a sad facial expression. The images were posted on the 4chan discussion board and were soon distributed via several blogs and media outlets, leading to the sad Keanu meme being spread on the internet. An unofficial holiday was created when a Facebook fan page declared June 15th as Cheer Up Keanu Day. 255 290 He would later downplay the photo, saying, "Man, I was eating a sandwich. I was thinking I had some stuff going on. I was hungry." 291. Reeves's casual persona and ability to establish rapport have been observed by the public, leading him to be dubbed the internet's boyfriend. 292 293 294 In 2019, Vox cited Reeves's unorthodox filmography and ability to appeal to nerd culture as the primary reasons for his internet popularity. 295 Screen Rant assessed that Reeves is commonly considered one of the kindest, most thoughtful actors in Hollywood. 271 The Guardian noted that he holds a reputation as one of the nicest, humblest guys on the Hollywood A-list. 219 And the BBC wrote that he is known for his gentle, mild-mannered persona, and is often described as the nicest man in Hollywood. 296. Time dubbed Reeves as the master of the fan encounter. 297 And Snopes observed that he is so beloved that he's a cultural fixture. 298. In March 2019, Reeves went viral after his United Airlines flight to Burbank, California was grounded in Bakersfield. Taking initiative in arranging alternate travel plans, Reeves boarded a travel van with the other passengers. Reeves read fun facts from his phone about Bakersfield to the passengers, and later used YouTube to play them 1950s American country music that was native to the town. 299 times said of the events, "One thing's for certain after this eventful trip, if you're looking for a road trip buddy, Keanu Reeves should be on the top of your list." 300. Reeves again gained media attention in May when a clip of his guest episode on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert went viral online. Colbert asked at the end of the show about his views on death, then Reeves answered, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." The response incited an emotional reaction from the audience, and Colbert shook Reeves's hand before wrapping up the show. 301. Vice's River Donaghy declared that "Keanu is my new religion" in response to the clip, and called the moment transcendent. 302. The New Yorker called it a response so wise, so genuinely thoughtful, that it seemed like a rebuke to the usual canned blather of late-night television. Staff writer Naomi Fry recounted that she felt like she was standing alone in a rock garden, having a koan whispered into her ear after watching the viral clip on Twitter. 303. The interaction would later inspire science communicator Hank Green to end his Pissing Out Cancer comedy special, based on his experiences fighting Hodgkin's lymphoma, with a quote inspired by Reeves's answer, "Either way, what comes next is going to be beautiful." In choosing the ending, he felt that Reeves's words reflected a larger understanding of the human experience. 304. While filming Bill and Ted Face the Music in July 2019, Reeves and other cast members came across a house with a banner reading "You're breathtaking and many Keanu," two memes that had come out of Reeves's appearance at the Electronic Entertainment Expo 2019 for the game Cyberpunk 2077. Reeves took time to sign the banner, and talk to the family. 305. Business Insider reported that the actor's fans were quick to praise him in response to the incident, calling him "good guy Keanu" and lauding him as the best human on the planet. 306. In August 2022, Reeves went viral for attending a fan's wedding in Northamptonshire, United Kingdom. James and Nikki Road Knight saw Reeves at a bar at Fossley Hall Hotel shortly before their marriage ceremony and started to chat with him, with Reeves congratulating the couple on their marriage. Later, after James had secretly asked Reeves to meet Nikki during the wedding, he turned up during the ceremony. 307. Nikki described Reeves as a genuinely kind guy and relaxed and down to earth during the wedding, and he participated in a photo shoot with the family. 308. Another interaction between Reeves at an October 2023 Dogstar concert in Houston gained media attention. A young fan named Elijah approached Reeves before they started their show, asking if Reeves would play catch with him. Reeves obliged, with a game ensuing between the two. Calling the game the top moment of his life, the boy stated his intent to keep the football forever and ever. 309. 310. Oliver Browning of The Independent called the interaction a wholesome moment for Reeves. 311. Reeves appeared on Forbes' annual Celebrity 100 list in 2001 and 2002, at number 36 and 49, respectively. 312. 313. In 2005, Reeves received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his contributions to the motion picture industry. 314. In 2016, The Hollywood Reporter calculated that Reeves had earned $250 million for the Matrix franchise, making him one of the highest-paid actors. 315. In 2020, the New York Times ranked him at number 4 on its list of the 25 greatest actors of the 21st century. 316. A popular meme asserts that Reeves is secretly immortal and has lived throughout the last millennia under the identities of several historical figures, including Charlemagne and French actor Paul Mounet. 317. The meme came to media prominence in 2017 when Reeves was asked by Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show about it. Reeves addressed his resemblance with Charlemagne, saying, "We have a likeness in the eyes. And the nose and the mustache and the beard and the cheekbones and the forehead." 318. 319. When asked in a Q&A event for John Wick, Chapter 4 if he ever ages, Reeves responded, "Yeah man, I age. I really, IH. It's happening, man. 320 in 2023, a website dedicated to chronicling every time Reeves has spoken the word woe in his film career was created by web developer Avi Mamenko to honor him. 321 in 2022, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people in the world. 322. Filmography and awards. Main articles: Keanu Reeves' filmography and awards and nominations. Reeves, right, receiving the Inkpot Award in 2024. Prolific in film since 1985, Reeves's most acclaimed and highest-grossing films, according to the review aggregate site Rotten Tomatoes, include River's Edge, 1987, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, 1989, My Own Private Idaho, 1991, Much Ado About Nothing, 1993, Speed, 1994, The Matrix, 1999, John Wick, 2014, John Wick, Chapter 2, 2017, John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, 2019, and Toy Story 4, 2019. 323 Reeves has won 4 MTV Movie Awards, 51 324 325 and received 2 Best Actor nominations at the Saturn Awards. 326 He was nominated twice for a People's Choice Award, Favorite Male Movie Star and Favorite Action Movie Star, for his performance in John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, 2019. 327. In November 2015, People retroactively named him 1994's Sexiest Man Alive. 328 In September 2021, Taekwondo Life magazine deemed Reeves the #1 martial arts movie star in the world based upon his multiple films in the genre, their popularity, and sheer box office gross. 329 In 2024, Gold House honored him on its Most Impactful Asians A100 list 330, and he was presented with the Inkpot Award for lifetime contributions to movies, TV, comics, and books at San Diego Comic-Con. 331. Bibliography. Reeves, Keanu, 2011. Burgum, Janie, ed. Ode to Happiness. Alexandra Grant, Drawings and Book Design. Göttingen, Steedle Publishers. ISBN 9783869302096. Rachel Hannah Weisz, /Weisz/2 born March 7, 1970, Note 1 is an English actress. Known for her roles in independent films and blockbusters, she has received several awards, including an Academy Award, a BAFTA Award, a Golden Globe Award, and a Laurence Olivier Award. Weisz began acting in stage and television productions in the early 1990s, and made her film debut in Death Machine, 1994. She won a Critics' Circle Theatre Award for her role in the 1994 revival of Noel Coward's play Design for Living, and went on to appear in the 1999 Donmar Warehouse production of Tennessee Williams' drama Suddenly Last Summer. Her film breakthrough came with her starring role as Evelyn Carnahan in the Hollywood action films The Mummy, 1999, and The Mummy Returns, 2001. Weisz went on to star in several films of the 2000s, including Enemy at the Gates, 2001, About a Boy, 2002, Runaway Jury, 2003, Constantine, 2005, The Fountain, 2006, Definitely, Maybe, 2008, The Lovely Bones, 2009, and The Whistleblower, 2010. For her performance as an activist in the 2005 thriller The Constant Gardener, she won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and for playing Blanche Dubois in a 2009 revival of A Streetcar Named Desire, she won the Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress. In the 2010s, Weisz continued to star in big-budget films such as the action film The Bourne Legacy, 2012, and the fantasy film Oz the Great and Powerful, 2013, and achieved critical acclaim for her performances in the independent films The Deep Blue Sea, 2011, Denial, 2016, and The Favorite, 2018. For her portrayal of Sarah Churchill in The Favorite, she won the BAFTA Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role and received a second Academy Award nomination. Weisz portrayed Melina Vostokov in the Marvel Cinematic Universe film Black Widow, 2021, and starred as twin obstetricians in the thriller miniseries Dead Ringers, 2023. Early life and family. Weisz was born on March 7, 1970 in Westminster, London, and grew up in Hampstead Garden suburb. 7. Her father, George Weisz, was a Hungarian Jewish mechanical engineer. 8. 9. Her mother, Edith Ruth, née Teich, 10 was a teacher turned psychotherapist originally from Vienna, Austria. 11. 12. Her maternal grandfather's ancestry was Austrian Jewish, her maternal grandmother was Catholic and of Italian ancestry. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. The scholar and social activist James Parks helped her mother's family to leave Austria for England. 18. Weisz's mother was raised in the Catholic Church and formally converted to Judaism upon marrying Weisz's father. 19. 20. Weisz's maternal grandfather was Alexander Teich, a Jewish activist who had been a secretary of the World Union of Jewish Students. 21. 22. 23. Her parents immigrated to the United Kingdom as children around 1938, prior to the outbreak of World War II, in order to escape the Nazis. 24. 25. 26. 27. Her younger sister Minnie Weisz is a visual artist. 28. Weisz's parents valued the arts, they encouraged their children to form opinions of their own by engaging their participation in family debates. 29. Weisz left North London Collegiate School and attended Benenden School for 1 year, completing A-levels at St. Paul's Girls' School. 30. 31. Known for being an English Rose, 32. 33. 34. 19. Weisz began modeling at the age of 14. 35. In 1984, she gained public attention when she turned down an offer to star in King David with Richard Gere. 30. Weisz went to Trinity Hall, Cambridge, where she read English, matriculating in 1988. She graduated with upper second-class honors. During her university years she was a contemporary of Sacha Baron Cohen, Alexander Armstrong, Emily Maitlis, Sue Perkins, Mel Gidroy, Richard Osman, and Ben Miller, whom she briefly dated, 36, and appeared in various student dramatic productions, co-founding a student drama group called Cambridge Talking Tongues. 37. The group won a Guardian Student Drama Award at the 1991 Edinburgh Festival Fringe for an improvised piece written by Weisz herself called Slight Possession. 38. Directed by David Farr. 39. Weisz then trained under master clown Philippe Gallier at École Philippe Gallier. 40. 41. Career. 1990s. In 1992, Weisz appeared in the television film Advocates 2, followed by roles in the Inspector Morse episode Twilight of the Gods, and the BBC's steamy period drama Scarlet and Black, alongside Ewan McGregor. 42. Dirty Something, a BBC Screen 2-hour-long television film made in 1992, was Weisz's first film. 43. Weisz's breakthrough role on the stage was that of Gilda in Sean Matthias's 1994 revival of Noel Coward's Design for Living at the Gielgud Theatre. 44-45, for which she received the London Critics' Circle Award for the Most Promising Newcomer. 46-47. Her portrayal was described as wonderful by a contemporary review. 48. Weisz started her film career with a minor role in the 1994 film Death Machine. 42. Her first major role came in the 1996 film Chain Reaction. 49. The film received mostly negative reviews. It holds a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes 50 and was a minor financial success. 51. She next appeared as Miranda Fox in Stealing Beauty, directed by Bernardo Bertolucci. 52. Where she was first labeled an English Rose. 34. Weisz found roles in the 1997 American drama Swept from the Sea. 53. The 1998 British television comedy drama My Summer with De, Michael Winterbottom's crime film I Want You 54 and David Leland's The Land Girls, based on Angela Huth's book of the same name. 55. In 1999, Weisz played Greta in the historical film Sunshine. 56. The same year, her international breakthrough came with the 1999 adventure film The Mummy, in which she played the female lead opposite Brendan Fraser. Her character, Evelyn Carnahan, is an English Egyptologist 57 who undertakes an expedition to the fictional ancient Egyptian city of Hamunaptra to discover an ancient book. Variety criticized the direction of the film, writing, "The actors have been directed to broad, undisciplined performances. Buffoonery hardly seems like Weisz's natural domain, as the actress strains for comic effects that she can't achieve." 58. She followed this up with the sequel The Mummy Returns in 2001, which grossed an estimated $433 million worldwide. 59, equivalent to $769 million in 2024 dollars, 60 higher than the original's $260 million. 61, equal to $491 million in 2024 dollars. 60. Also in 1999, she played the role of Catherine in the Donmar Warehouse production of Tennessee Williams' Suddenly last summer. 62. What's on stage called her captivating, stating that she brought a degree of credibility to a difficult part. 63. The same year, Weisz appeared in Neil LaBoute's The Shape of Things at the Almeida Theatre, then temporarily located in London's King's Cross, for which she received a Theatre World Award. 64. 65. Curtain Up called her a sophisticated, independent artist with great stage presence. 66. 2000s. In 2000, she portrayed Petula in the film Beautiful Creatures. 42. Followed by 2001's Enemy at the Gates. 67. And the 2002 comedy drama About a Boy, with Hugh Grant, based on Nick Hornby's 1998 novel. 68. In 2003, she played Marley in the adaptation of John Grisham's legal thriller novel The Runaway Jury. 69. And starred in the film adaptation of the romantic comedy drama play The Shape of Things. 70. Weisz in 2007. In 2004, Weisz appeared in the comedy Envy. The film failed at the box office. 71. Variety opined that Weisz and co-star Amy Poehler get fewer choice moments than they deserve. 72. Her next role was alongside Keanu Reeves in Constantine, based on the comic book Hellblazer. 73. Film Threat called her portrayal effective at projecting skepticism and, eventually, dawning horror. 74. Her next appearance, in 2005, was in Fernando Meirelles' The Constant Gardener. 75. A film adaptation of a John Le Carre thriller set in the slums of Kibera and Loyangalani, Kenya. 76. 11. Weisz played an activist, Tessa Quayle, married to a British embassy official. 77. The film was critically acclaimed. 78. Earning Weisz the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. 79. The Golden Globe Award for Best Supporting Actress. 80. And the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role. 81. UK newspaper The Guardian noted that the film established her in the front rank of British actors. 82. While the BBC wrote, Weisz is exceptional, film star charisma coupled with raw emotion in a performance to fall in love with. 83. In 2006, she received the BAFTA Britannia Award for British Artist of the Year. 84. In 2006, Weisz starred in American filmmaker Darren Aronofsky's romantic drama The Fountain. 85. The San Francisco Chronicle found her portrayal of Queen Isabel less convincing than other roles. 86. That same year, she provided the voice for Sapphira the Dragon in the fantasy film Aragon. 87. And rejected an offer to star in The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor due to script issues. 88. 89. The part eventually went to Maria Bello. 90. Her subsequent films include the 2007 Wong Kar-wai drama My Blueberry Nights. 91. And Ryan Johnson's 2008 caper film The Brothers Bloom. 91. In 2009, she played the lead role of Hypatia of Alexandria in the historical drama film Agora, a Spanish production directed by Alejandro Amenabar. 92. The New York Times called her portrayal adept, noting that she imparted a sympathetic presence. 93. That same year, she appeared as Blanche Dubois, in Rob Ashford's revival of the play A Streetcar Named Desire. 94. Her performance in the play was praised by critics. The Daily Telegraph noted that she rises to the challenge magnificently. 95. 2010s. Weisz at the 2012 Deauville American Film Festival. Weisz starred in the film The Whistleblower, which debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2010. The film was based on the true story of human trafficking by employees of contractor DynCorp. During its premiere, the intense depiction of the treatment meted out to victims by the kidnappers made a woman in the audience faint. 96. Variety wrote Weisz's performance holds the viewer every step of the way. 97. That same year, she guest starred in the animated series The Simpsons, in the 22nd season episode How Munched Is That Birdie in the Window? 98. Weisz's 2011 roles included an adaptation of Terence Rattigan's play The Deep Blue Sea. 99. Fernando Meirelles' drama 360-100, the BBC espionage thriller Page 8, and the thriller film Dream House. 101. She filmed scenes for To the Wonder, a 2012 romantic drama film written and directed by Terrence Malick. Her scenes were cut. 102. 103. 104. She has starred in the 2012 action thriller film The Bourne Legacy based on the series of books by Robert Ludlum. 105. In 2013, Weisz starred on Broadway alongside her husband, Daniel Craig, in a revival of Harold Pinter's Betrayal. It opened October 27, 2013, and closed January 5, 2014. 106. 107. Box office receipts of $17.5 million made it the second highest grossing Broadway play of 2013. 108. That year, Weisz played Ivanhoe in the fantasy film Oz the Great and Powerful. 109. Weisz at the 2015 Cannes Film Festival. In 2015, she appeared in drama film Youth and in science fiction film The Lobster. The film won Cannes Jury Prize. In 2016, she appeared in the drama film The Light Between Oceans, and portrayed Holocaust historian Deborah Lipstadt in Denial, a film based on Lipstadt's book, and directed by Mick Jackson. In 2017, Weisz starred in My Cousin Rachel, a drama based on Daphne du Maurier's novel, and in 2018 co-starred in a British biographical film about sailor Donald Crowhurst, The Mercy, directed by James Marsh. Weisz's production company, LC6 Productions, released its first feature film, Disobedience, in 2017, starring Weisz and Rachel McAdams. 110. 111. Weisz grew up 3 London Underground stops away from the Orthodox Jewish neighborhood where the film is set. Raised within Judaism, Weisz never fully connected to her ancestral religion. She claims she was really disobedient herself and has never felt she fits in anywhere. 112.